And now, the Rise Above Show, presented by Roofing.com and hosted by Diego Dante.
Welcome to the Rise Above Show, presented by Roofing.com. My name is Diego Dante. We are here in Salt Lake City, Utah at D2DCon with my good friend Michael O'Donnell. How are you, man?
Man, I'm doing terrific, other than the fact I don't have much of a voice. But it's been fun to be about 25 feet from you for 2 days.
Yeah, we've been looking at each other.
But we can't get closer than 25 feet because you're bombed here in your booth, and I'm bombed over in my MOD Sales Academy booth. But it's good to be able to come across the aisle, say hello, be here with you.
Yeah, man, you're quite the celebrity here. I know you got a crowd around you every time I look over. So
my daughter hates to come to this event because she says it just kind of makes her a little kind of grossed out. She's like, Dad, it's kind of like you're a celebrity, but only in this one stupid room.
That's funny, dude. We had you at RoofCon. We didn't get much of a chance to chat because I know we were.
Yeah.
Well, I was running around like crazy. You were running around like crazy. So, what was your experience at RoofCon like?
Gosh, that was a mind-opening and mind-blowing experience coming to Orlando to be with RoofCon, to be with you guys, and then getting to speak to your audience. That was a first-time ever experience for me, being at RoofCon, and then to be up there giving a talk and being the solar guy. It was kind of fun being normally I'm in a room full of solar guys. So to be the solar guy in a room full of roofing folks who a lot of them are looking into or have begun their journey to become a solar guy or a solar company. Yeah, it was really exciting, and there were just some tremendous conversations that were had, and I've kept in touch with a lot of those people. A lot of them have joined my solar academy, the MOD Solar Academy, learn how to sell. Hard part about solar is learning how to sell it. If you can install a roof, you can install solar. So if you can get you and your people on top of the game on how to sell it, you're 90% of the way there.
I think the really cool thing is this year, as we've talked about before, this year we're really focused on helping, breaking into the solar space ourselves. Yes. Because what we've noticed, or what we know, is roofing and solar go hand in hand.
They do.
And there's no reason why, there should be that separation of, with RoofCon just being strictly for roofing contractors. We need to start two things. One, we need to start helping roofing contractors break into the solar space.
We do.
And then the second thing is we need to help the solar contractors also be involved in what we've got going on with RoofCon, because I think there's, obviously there's a great energy there going on, and,
for sure,
everything we're doing with leadership development and all that stuff. So let's talk a little bit about,
Well, to your point, though, we tend to think of that from our perspective in the industry, but how about from the customer's perspective? They need us to get this together. We're the ones that are going to be providing a service. If we put a roof on and don't put solar on, now they're on at a different time, they're going to pay a lot more for the roof, and they're going to find out a few years later they should have done that. And the same thing on the solar side. Putting a solar system on a roof, we find out they need a roof 3 years later. Like, dude, we've done that person a disservice. So if we really want to up our game and really be providing a great service to the customer, we're going to say, hey, look, why don't we do these things together? You're going to pay almost nothing. You're going to pay nothing at all to get all of this work done. And then the monthly payment that you have for solar plus roofing, it's going to look like the electric bill you used to have anyway, but now you got a brand new roof. And when the roof needs to be done, that'll be kind of through the 25-year cycle of the solar system as well. Not solar systems last longer, but if you only have to re-roof any 25 years, that's a great spot to be in. But if somebody gets the roof and doesn't get solar, they would have missed out on possibly combining benefits, combining financing, combining the time zones. All of those things can work together so the customer goes, oh, I got a roof for free.
So let's talk about this, because specifically with like we talked about, with roofing contractors wanting to break into the solar space, I wanted to take a chance here while we're here with so many solar experts. Yep. I wanted
and lots of roofing experts.
Yeah,
both.
I wanted to bring in some solar experts to specifically talk about how to implement a solar division, and I'm going to have a series of about 6 to 8 podcasts that are going to be solely focused on that.
Okay.
And so I said, who better to bring in to talk about sales than yourself?
Well, thank you.
So let's talk about selling solar specifically.
Yes.
I want to get some, if someone's never sold a solar deal before, but they've got all their big roofing portfolio and people that they've sold roofs to, what can they do to start selling roofs? to start selling solar?
Well, first of all, they need to understand that most of the people in the country that are selling solar are selling it wrong. And so if you're being shown how to do that by one of those guys, you're going to be selling it wrong. Most people are approaching a homeowner and go, oh, you should go solar, and look, it's $41 a month less than if you didn't go solar. And that's awesome in some ways. But then the homeowner turns around and goes, well, do I want to go $40,000 into debt to save $41? That doesn't make any sense. So it's not compelling. In order to make solar compelling, you have to understand the real benefits of solar, and the real benefits are very different than how much money are you going to save. I do a complete solar presentation with a customer, and the fact that it's $41 a month less, the fact that it is less, I'm talking to them at the door about it's just less, but the fact that it was $41 less or $31 less or $72 less, that doesn't even come up in the process. Most customers that I visit with are going to make somewhere in the vicinity of $100,000 profit. Solar's about equity, it's about appreciation, and it's about profit. It's not about saving $41 a month. That's just not really a thing. But if I can visit with the homeowner, I say, look, you're going to be spending $50,000 in the next 10 years, whether you talk to me or go solar with anybody else or not. But you can spend that $51,000 and end up with exactly nothing but a higher and higher and higher monthly bill. Or you can spend that $51,000 and actually own this power plant. It's paid off. You can tell your family and your budget exactly what power is going to cost you for the rest of your life. Dude, those are huge, magnificent benefits. Oh, and by the way, what this costs is less. It's less than you're spending right now.
I love it. So, what, I guess, what other things are people doing wrong when it comes to selling solar? Is there anything that, we're not doing, that I guess as a roofer that we don't have it right when we're, what are the things that we need to look out for? What are the things that we're not saying right? Anything else? Any other sales tips and tricks that you want to give?
There's a single idea that if you don't have it in your head, you're going to miss out on 90% of the sales. And when you're selling roofing, you don't need this idea. And the reason being is that people need a roof, right? They need a roof that's not leaking or not damaged. People do not need solar. They already have an electric company, they have an electric bill, they're able to afford it, it's not taken into the poorhouse yet. Now they don't know that bill's going to triple by the end of this decade because they're not reading the Build Back Better plan and the infrastructure plan. They don't understand the Green New Deal. Right? They don't understand that we're experiencing inflation that no one's ever seen before. Like we have inflation that's no one's ever seen before in the United States. They say it's the highest inflation in 40 years. That's if you use the number 7%. The stuff we're seeing is not 7%. Right? Like homes are going up by 100% in the last couple of years. So if your home's doubled in price, do you care if hamburger's only up 7%? Well, hamburger's not up 7%, it's up 21%. So we're experiencing unprecedented inflation. So they're thinking that they don't need solar. And they're kind of right for now, but they're not right in the long term. They're going to end up with solar. They're just going to end up with it after the tax credits are gone, after the incentives are gone. They're going to need solar because the price of what they're paying for now is going to triple by the end of this decade. But the single idea that they're missing in your head, if you're selling roofing, you're thinking, I usually sell a product that people need. They do not need solar, at least in their own mind. And so if you're thinking that someone's going to get 2 or 3 bids and call one of them back and they kind of like me, so hopefully they're going to call me back, or I'm a good follow-up guy, they're going to follow up with me and I'm going to follow up with them, I'm going to end up with the sale. That idea is completely wrong in solar. People don't need solar, and when the iron's hot, you have a great opportunity and a great chance to get the project moving forward if you can get them to start the process today. If you don't get them to start the process today, the chances that they ever start, like I've had 5 people call me back in 5 years. So that's not 0, but it's close enough to 0 for me. So when that customer says, this is awesome, thank you very much for the bid, I'll be back to you in a couple days, they have to remain calm and understand that if they don't get the project moving forward today, they're never getting the business, and then know how to handle that exact situation so that they're doing paperwork 10 or 15 minutes from now.
How does a roofing contractor a roofing contractor typically, if they've been in business of, a couple years, they probably have a few hundred
Hopefully
roofs that
1,000
they've
or more,
done.
sure.
And so if you've got this portfolio of
warm
people,
customers, sure.
How do you approach those people to be able to sell them solar?
Yeah, I think that's literally the easiest thing in the world, and that's not the problem, right? The problem is you're going to go through those quick, and that you're going to have to learn how to get folks you never heard of. But the ones you already know about, it's a real simple phone call. It's a professional checking in. How are things with the roof? That's awesome. By the way, I don't know if you may or may not know this, we also do solar. Most of our customers have gotten a solar proposal. I see we've not yet gotten you a solar proposal. I've taken the liberty of having our engineering department put that together. I've taken a brief look at it. The only reason I'm calling you is it's amazing. The numbers are unbelievable. So it's literally going to cost you nothing to add solar to the roof. It's going to be guaranteed and warranted for 25 years. And the numbers I'm seeing, it looks like you're going to make a six-figure dollar amount in profit between now and you retire. So why I was calling you, I wanted to let you know that. And at this point in time, all I'm short is I just need a time that I can have my consultant, which is me or someone else. I just need a time so that my consultant can come by and leave you with a free estimate. The roofing guys use the word estimate. I love that. I use it. We don't use it in solar. I use it in solar. Well, why don't we just get you a free estimate? Oh, and by the way, just because we are a cherished customer and we appreciate your time, we're also going to buy you dinner just for having the consultant over to show them the numbers. I have one question for you. Diego, does your wife like Olive Garden or Cheesecake Factory better?
Olive Garden.
She loves all those unending breadsticks and salad. My wife, same thing. So when the consultant comes, he'll have the gift card for the Olive Garden dinner with you. I need to get the last spelling of the email you're using now, blah, 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 blah. So it's just an assumption. You didn't ask him if he wants solar. You didn't ask him for an appointment. You asked him, does his wife like Olive Garden or Cheesecake Factory better? And by the way, we're coming. This is happening. We already did the proposal. We just now have to come by and show it to you.
That's awesome, man. I think you've dropped a lot of great, truth bombs, knowledge bombs here for the listeners. That's, like I said, one big thing that we wanted to make sure that that we gave people some great free resources that they can come in and they can start implementing so that they can start developing a solar division in their business. So let me ask you just a couple of quick rapid fire questions that I ask everyone that comes on the show.
Cool.
So this is the Rise Above show, and we created this show so that we could share people's stories. We want to make sure that people are rising above in their businesses and their personal lives as a leader. And so with that, what is a failure that you've had? It could be in your business or in your personal life, and how were you able to rise above from there?
I had a question from someone in the audience when we were doing a panel. They said, how do you address the opportunity of solar while having balance in your life? And I said, you're asking the wrong guy if you want advice about having balance. I would prefer the question, how do you handle the opportunity of solar and the fact that if you're addressing that opportunity properly, your life is going to be way out of balance for a while. Like, how are you going to deal with the fact that you have an opportunity to make $400,000, $500,000, $700,000, maybe $1 million a year and still not lose everything else you care about? So that's the real question. If you address this opportunity appropriately, you're going to find yourself out of balance, because you're going to find, I've never had a problem of somebody thinking I was a workaholic, but I work 7 days a week. I work 10, 12, 14-hour days, and I just wish I had more time. So I would say that's my current issue, and I'm trying to take half a day Sunday off now. But that's why I'm going to be on stage. So what you hear in the background is the DDDCon stage. Every year they give away awards for having sold. Historically it's been 1 million watts of solar sold every year. And every year I've come up on stage and Sam has handed me 2 of those because I've sold. And I created the concept of the double golden door by selling between 2 and 3 million watts of solar every year. But dude, this is a gold rush. If you were in the middle of a gold rush and everybody was cashing in, would you be like trying to figure out like how you were gonna get a 2-week vacation in there to get your balance on?
Right.
So I'm about to leave this podcast and go get another Golden Door Award for having sold over 2 million watts of solar this year.
That's awesome,
and,
man.
Put that on the wall.
Well, congratulations on all of your success.
Thank you.
We loved having you at RoofCon, and we appreciate you coming on the podcast.
It was a blast.
And we want to go ahead and we're going to let you go so that way
Appreciate it.
You can get to the stage.
And just a reminder, the whole key, so the core for roofing guys to get into solar is learn how to sell. If you learn to sell it, everything else will take care of itself.
Yeah.
So that's why I put together the MOD Sales Academy, VT.com, so people could literally, it's as easy as having a Netflix binge. They click onto it, they got like a 7-8 hour Netflix binge away from knowing everything they need to know, everything they need to say. Hundreds of guys have walked up to me at this conference and said, dude, all I do is say what you say on those videos, and I've sold hundreds of solar systems. So it literally, it's easy if you know how to do it. It's really hard if you don't know how to do it. This is like an easy one-step method to know exactly how to do it.
I love it. Well, guys, I appreciate you if you've tuned in this far. Hopefully this has been helpful to you in, trying to implement solar into your company. And Michael, appreciate you coming on the show. With this, we'll sign off, but we appreciate you, and we'll see you next time on the next episode.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, man, on the next episode of the Rise Above Show presented by Roofing.com. Peace out.
Out.